Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tuplex. Alright, so the reactors and everything that we need for the reactors are accumulated. So what I'm going to do is cancel the requests on those chests. And we'll go ahead and put those into the train car. That'll take a moment or two to complete. So in the meantime, let me show you what I did here for the blue circuits. Now the problem I was having... Yeah, you know what? I'm still having a problem. What was happening previously was that the requester chests for the blue circuits were putting a negative request into the robot network. And that negative request was getting turned into a positive number here. And since this was giving a green signal to the train anytime there was a positive number, the negative request for the blue circuits was giving a false go signal to the train. And it was going through. So all I did is I put a... Actually, let me set this up so that we can see better. Is it an interface? Yeah, show combinator settings in alt mode. I usually turn that off because it's ugly, but I think it'll be instructive in this case. All right, so all I did is I put a filter on the output of that. So this one multiplies everything by -1, and then this is just checking for anything that's less than 1, it passes it through. So this just filters out any positive signals coming out, which I didn't want. And that fixed the problem. But now I can see that my red circuit train keeps coming through. And now the boxes are full. It can't unload anymore. And this train is waiting and it can't get in. And even when this train leaves, all these boxes are full and this won't be able to unload anything. So that's a problem. So I think what's happening is somehow when this train shows up, this train gets a green signal, and that green signal is getting through the circuits to the other train. So I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time working on this. Maybe what I just need to do is get this red circuit and then isolate this red circuit from all the other ones with a combinator. You know, if you want to isolate a signal, what you can do is you can use it could be a decider or an arithmetic combinator. And basically what you can do, like I'll use this as an example. Let's, well, here, let me get another pole here for demonstration purposes. Okay, so right now we can see that on this red circuit, there's a T165. That's the ID of my train. Okay, so T165. So what I could do here is I could say input each times 1, output each. So all this is going to do is just going to duplicate whatever's coming in. So here I see there's a T165. Now there's a T165 coming out, right? And there it is, T165. Now where this comes in handy is, let's say, let me make a constant combinator. All right, now let's say I have some other signals also connected on the red wire here. Like we'll just do an F of 1. Right, so here I can see T165 and F of 1, but if I come over here, I still only see T165 because this combinator will not pass signals from the output to the input. It'll only go the other way. So this way you can use combinators to isolate other parts of your circuit network. So I might have to try to do something like that and see if that helps fix the issue. But again, I'll mess with that offline and see if I can get that taken care of so that we can have a good setup over there. All right, well, let's go set up our reactors. That's kind of the first mission here. Yeah, so last time I said I wanted to do a few things. So number one, I want to get more power. So we'll have that going here pretty shortly, now that we have all the materials we need. The second one was to get some trains running so we can launch some more rockets. And then the third thing I would like to do is to set up a dedicated area to make Tier 3 modules. Because if we look at our main logistics network, which is number 2, I believe, we still have a terrible shortage of speed modules, and that's going to slow us down with the rest of what we want to do. So the plan is that we set up an outside area where we take green, red, and blue circuits by train, and we make modules, hopefully at a high rate of speed. Okay, so we just need to come over here, let the bots do their thing. The heat pipes do take a while. Maybe I can help out with the heat pipes. Give the bots a little bit less to do. Okay. I'm just going to come up here so I can right-click on the bots and get them recharged more quickly. You can't do that if you're standing over top of something. Okay, good. Now let's go back for the rest of it. Hopefully I can get it all in one more trip. Got a few slow pokes over here. All right. And then once everything is placed, all we have to do is put the requester chest down, and then it should start producing power. Now, where are they going? Oh, they're going to pick up spent fuel cells, I think. All right. Nope, looks like we're going to need still one more quick trip. And once again, I'll help the bots out with the heat pipes. Since they do this on a per item basis, many small items can take a longer time than, you know, than big items spread over a large area. I feel like I have too many heat exchangers. Okay, there's all the tanks. Actually, I don't think I want this tank to be wired up. And I see now there's a red and a green. Yeah, I don't think I want this tank to be wired up. Do I need that? Yeah, I guess I do. Well, then I don't need that, do I? There. The reason for that is that all the steam tanks should have the same amount in them. And if I start monitoring 2 steam tanks, then it's going to change my math over here, and then I'll need to change the circuit every time I add more, and I don't want to have to do that. So I'm only going to monitor 1 tank. I'm using the 1 tank as kind of an indicator for what all the rest of the network is looking like. Yeah, I think I have... I don't know how I ended up with too many heat exchangers, but I think I have too many. And I think I don't have enough heat pipes. And I don't have enough turbines either. So maybe I got something wrong over there. Alright. Well, anyway, there ought to be enough here to start making some power. So let's go ahead and put in our chests. No, let's try that again, right there. Okay, and I'll just copy the settings there. Okay. Hopefully the bots are coming. Are the bots coming? There's some bots. But no, they're all going home, it looks like. Oh, you have to request from buffer chests. Well, we shouldn't have to, but let me do that. There's one right there. Okay, here they come. Okay, that's odd. That one's not hooked up to the network. That must be the same one that I neglected to take care of previously, and I bet that's stuck in my blueprint now. Okay, all the rest of them are wired in. Alright, so that looks fine. So on the next cycle, they should insert into all the rest of those. Now I'm going to have to go back. Well, first let's see what we're missing. We're missing 265 heat pipes, 82 turbines. Oh, we're missing all of the underground or offshore, what do you call them? Offshore pumps. How many do I need? 15. We won't be able to make much fuel if we don't have water. Okay, 2 more. Alright. So we need about 100 turbines, and... Didn't I make these? 1, 2. Okay, I thought I did that already. And we need 2 pieces of pipe, so I can do that pretty easily. just have to run around until we find the place where they belong. Is it over here? Yep. There we go. And we're missing 2 on the other side too, I bet. Oh, more than that. Okay, so we need about 100 turbines and about 300 heat pipes. So let's go back and get those, and we should be able to finish this off, assuming that those materials are available. Let's check our power now, just out of curiosity. Yeah, well, we're out of danger. Still kind of close to the limit. I feel comfortable when I'm only using about 50% of my power generating capacity. Any more than that, and I start to get a little uncomfortable. Another thing I did between episodes is I went back to the copper mine and I put in some turrets because I remembered that I forgot, if that makes sense. I remembered that I forgot to put those when I expanded the copper mine. Okay, yeah, and we are indeed out of heat pipes and turbines. So let's see if we've got some. We can put those heat exchangers back. 48 turbines, that's not enough. 192 heat pipes, also not enough. Okay, so this will have to be done in stages, I suppose. But this will get us plenty of additional power right now. So let's go set that up, and then we'll start to set up the trains for the rockets. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough circuit production to be able to launch rockets and make a lot of extra modules like I want to. So once we get the module outpost up and running, if we find that it's too slow, then we'll just turn off the rocket launches again until we can get a couple thousand speed modules made. And as we're doing that, we can start to set up the outposts that are going to be making the science packs, because that's really going to be the next step here, and that'll be essentially the last thing that we need to do in order to hit our goal of 1,000 science packs per minute. And then once we hit the goal, we can start a new series, which I'm actually getting pretty excited to do. I've been playing a lot lately with Angel's mods and Bob's mods, and I'm fairly certain that that's what I want to do for the next series, because I really enjoy playing with those mods. It makes the game certainly a lot more challenging, but also more interesting, I think. Okay. So we won't be able to finish this until we get the rest of the stuff we need. Looks like about another 50 and 150, plus or minus. I wonder if I can make any turbines. Yeah, I can make 3 of them. No, never mind. I'm not going to wait for all those gears to get made. Okay, so we'll come back and finish that off at a later time. While I'm here, I see some radar coverage up here, but I don't know if that's coming from this radar or if that's coming from me. Yeah, that's coming from me. So let's go up here. I'm going to put another radar over on this side. And we'll put it right there. And I should probably put a couple turrets here through the middle as well, since we're vulnerable to attack from up there. So I'll just spread these out. When I place these, I'm just trying to place them so that each one is just in range of the next one. That way, from just about anywhere, you know, just about anything will be in range of at least 2 turrets. Okay, and these all have fuel now, so it looks like everything is running. If we check our power production, yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're using 1.1, 1.2 gigawatts, and we can make at least 2, I would say, based on that graph. And once it gets completed, we'll have capacity for 2.8 gigawatts, which will last us for a little while longer. All right, so let's go back and set up a few trains. If we look at the outposts for... Yeah, and you know, these are probably going to have the same problem with the trains that I'm having with blue circuits. So let's go try to fix that first. Otherwise, I'm gonna have the same problem in those other areas. We haven't seen the problem in the rocket part areas yet, because up until now I've only been sending one train there. So it's not until you send multiple trains with different components that that problem would show itself, which is why I'm seeing it now. So maybe what I can do is I can use this constant combinator to do a little testing. So let's just output a yellow belt, let's say. So I've got this set up so that when the train comes in, I read the train contents. So let's put a pole here so that I can see what's there. All right, so I see my signals from the logistics network on the red wire. And on the green wire, I should see the contents of the train. But I don't. That's curious. I mean, this is the station where the train is stopped, so why don't I see a bunch of green circuits? Okay, so if I read stopped train, that's when I should see the... Yeah, see, I don't even see the train ID. And I'm waiting for a green signal less than 0. So I'm stopped there. Oh, I see why. It's actually not stopped here. Okay, yeah, so this train is actually not stopped here. It's stopped by the signal right here that we can't see, and that's stopped because this train is in the way. Alright, so let's get this out of here. Alright, now this train is going to come up and it's not going to be able to do anything. Okay, so what I have to do now is I have to go into each of these chests and open up one slot so that it can start to unload. And then once it can start to unload, it'll start to use up the green circuits and some of the red circuits. And then we'll get some room in the chests again. And I've done this already. Just why I'm dumping red circuits into these chests. I mean, the good news is that my red circuit production is doing great. Okay, so now this train is stopped, which is exactly what we want. So before that other train leaves, I want to see if I can see the train contents. Yeah. All right, so now I can read the train contents. And it's 32,000 positive. And what if I give it a red signal? Maybe this is the problem. Okay. Yeah, this is my problem. The train contents only comes out on the green network. And these are all connected with a red wire. So I do need to connect a green wire from the station to these combinators. Alright, so let's put this back. And now let's connect a green wire. Okay, so I still see the 32. So this is reading anything greater than 0, red or green, and it's passing it through. Alright, so nothing is coming out. And that's because we have negative 167,000 red in the network and positive 32,000 in the train. Those two add together and it doesn't work, right? And then as soon as, get out of here, get out of here. And then as soon as this train shows up, it goes. So why is that? Especially if the stopped train. All right, so let me send, I'm gonna send my train to blue circuits in. And tell it just to wait there. So that way we can get a read on what's happening here. Because if the train contents only come out on the green network, then why this red network must be sending a signal somehow. Okay, so I can see everything on green. And how about you? Yeah, so this is getting a go signal. So this go signal is bleeding over here somehow. All right. So I think what I need to do is isolate each one of these stations from one another so that there's no circuit connection between them. And I can do that with these arithmetic combinators, like I mentioned before. Yeah, so let's try this. Let's disconnect this red. I'm going to disconnect that red. And I only want that red to go to the input. And then, like I mentioned before, we're just going to multiply by 1 in output. So that's going to... What the heck? You see that green signal showing up? Now, how is that getting out? Oh, okay. I know what that is. It's just because it just adds some green into there. So that should be a negative. That should be a negative number that's popping up there. That green circuit. Okay, so I don't think that's the problem. It's too fast for me to see, but I believe that's a negative number. Okay, so now we can take that red wire and connect it to the input there. And the output is nothing. Let's go back to automatic mode. Okay, so we're getting... Okay, so we're getting a go signal there. Alright, so let me copy all this. Alright, and it didn't remove my red wire here. And then I need to link those two inputs together like that. Okay, so now these are both getting the same signal, but they should be isolated from one another. Yeah, and we can see that. So there's a green signal here on the output, but there's no green signal bleeding over there. All right, so let's disconnect these red wires. We're going to disconnect these red wires. And then I'm going to whoops. No, I need to copy this whole thing because I need this other red wire. Okay. All right, so now this can't unload anymore. I hope I haven't filled up with blue circuits. Okay, not yet. So let me make some more room for green circuits to unload so we can finish this up here. I'm not sure why these keep getting filled up with red circuits. Okay. Wow, I almost got killed. Alright, so if I put this in automatic, it still goes. Alright, so that's what we have to troubleshoot. Now, how could that possibly be going? Alright, so this is getting anything greater than 0. It's sending a green signal. Does this have anything greater than 0? No, it does not. It has 2 negative numbers. Okay. What if we do that? So that way, yeah, let's try that. Blue circuit's in. Okay, now it is stopped. Okay, now it's working. 227,000 negative. That's fine. Added to the train contents is 195 negative. Alright, so this has to connect with a green wire so that they add together properly. And they weren't before. Alright, so we have to replace these reds with green, and then everything should be working as intended. Yeah, and we can see it's still waiting on blue circuits in. So it's waiting for that green signal, which it's not going to have until we have fewer than 32,000 red circuits. Okay, so long episode. Thanks for sticking around. I hope this was helpful, but I am relieved that I've gotten that working, because if it didn't work, I would be really embarrassed. So I'm going to go and make this same change to the other. Yeah, and you know, actually now I might not even need this isolator circuit, but I'll leave it anyway because it's cool. And we can throw in some lights here, which are also cool. Okay, so I'm going to go and make that same change to the other 2 stations, and then we'll get those trains set up in the next episode. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really appreciate your support. I appreciate your comments, your subscriptions, your likes. Makes me feel really good. It's good to know that people are enjoying what I'm doing here. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.